Hello again, everyone. I am Adriana A. Fernandez, and welcome to my case digest of major GDPR violation cases in the European Union. And today we will explore the significant GDPR breaches and their implications. So, for our first case, we have the British Airways. So, what is the case all about? In June 2018, British Airways experienced a data breach when their website was redirected to a fraudulent page compromising the personal data of approximately 500,000 customers. So, the stolen information included login details, travel information, names, addresses, and credit card details. And British Airways was fined 20 million euros by the UK Information Commissioner's Office or the ICO for failing to protect customer data. So, to sum up this case, in June 2018, British Airways website was redirected to a fraudulent page leading to a data breach. So, what are the facts of the case? First, we have in June 2018, British Airways experienced a significant data breach, and the website was redirected to a further page, compromising the personal data of approximately 500,000 customers. The stolen information included the login details, travel information, names, addresses, credit card numbers, including the expiration dates and the CVV numbers. And British Airways was fined 20 million euros by the UK Information Commissioner's Office for failing to protect customer data. So, what are the issues on the case, or the main issue in this case is the inadequate security measures led to a data breach that compromised the personal data of approximately 500,000 customers. And what is the ruling of the EU court? So, for the ruling, British Airways was fined 20 million euros by the UK Information Commissioner's Office. So, what are my takeaways or learnings from this case? First, we have the importance of robust security measures. Of course, for our learnings, uh, we have the importance of robust cybersecurity measure because implementing strong cybersecurity measures helps protect customer data from breaches and cyber attack. We also have the need for regular security audits and updates because regularly auditing and updating security protocols ensures that vulnerabilities are identified and addressed promptly. For our case number two, for our second case, the Marriott International Hotel. What is the case all about? Marriott International Hotel faced a data breach that exposed sensitive personal information of over 300 million customers, including the 30 million EU residents. So, hackers assessed data such as credit card numbers, passport numbers, and date of birth. Marriott, Marriott was fined 18.4 million euros by the UK ICO for inadequate data protection measures. So, about our second case, hackers disclose sensitive personal information of Marriott customers. So, we can proceed to the facts that we have in this case. First, the Marriott International Hotel faced a major data breach affecting over 30 million customers, including the 30 million EU residents. And hackers accesses sensitive data such as the credit card numbers, passport numbers, and the dates of birth. And the breach revealed inadequate data protection measures and failure to detect and respond to it in a timely manner. And Marriott was fined 18.4 million euro by the UK ICO. So, what is the main issue in this case? The inadequate data protection measures and failure to detect and respond to a data breach in a timely manner, affecting over 30 million customers. So for our ruling, Marriott was fined 18.4 million euros by the UK ICO. So for my takeaways and learnings from this case, I have the importance of timely breach detection and response. Of course, in this case, as we recall, the importance of timely breach and detection and response is very important, uh, because quickly detecting and responding to the data breaches can minimize the damage and protect customer information. And as I recall, we have 300 million uh, um, 300 million customers, and as I don't know, 30 million EU residents. And we also have the need of comprehensive data protection strategies, because developing and implementing thorough data protection strategies help safeguard sensitive information from unauthorized access. For our third case, we have the Google. So what is the case all about? Google was fined for not providing clear information on data processing and not obtaining proper consent for targeted advertising. Users found it difficult to access the consumer data processing statement, and the language used was ambiguous. The French Data Protection Authority, CNIL, fined Google 50 million euros for these violations. And for the facts of the case, we have that Google was fined for not providing clear information on data processing and not obtaining proper consent for targeted advertising. User found accessing the consumer data processing statement difficult, and the language used was ambiguous. Google did not obtain valid user consent for data processing, and the French Data Protection Authority, the CNIL, fined Google 50 million euros. For the main issue on the case, lack of transparency, inadequate information, and lack of valid consent regarding data processing for ads personalization. And for the ruling of the EU court, the French Data Protection Authority, alias CNIL, fined Google 50 million euros. So, for my takeaways and learnings from this case, I have the importance of clear and accessible privacy policies. So, of course, providing clear and easy accessible privacy policies ensures that users understand how their data is being processed and used. I also have the need for explicit user consent for data processing. So here, obtaining explicit consent for users for data processing activities ensures compliance with regulations and respects the user privacy. So for our fourth case, we have the Austrian Post. This case all about Austrian Post was fined for wrongly selling consumer data, analyzing it to determine political preferences, and selling this information. So this violated GDPR regulations on data processing and selling. So the National Data Protection Agency fined Austrian Post 18 million euros. For the facts, Austrian Post was fined for wrongly selling consumer data. The company analyzed consumer data to determine political preferences and sold this information that, of course, violating GDPR regulations, and the National Data Protection Agency fined Austrian Post over 18 million euros. So for the main issue on the case, wrongly selling consumer data, violating GDPR regulations on data processing and selling. So for the ruling of the EU court, Austrian Post was fined 18 million euros by the National Data Protection Agency. For my takeaways and learnings, of course, we have the importance of ethical data processing practices. Uh, adhering to ethical data processing practices helps maintain trust and compliance with regulations. Also, the need for transparency in data usage, because being transparent about how data is used ensures that cons- uh, customers are informed and can make informed decisions about their data. So next we have the Deutsche Wohnen SE. So this case is all about that Deutsche Wohnen SE was fined for keeping consumer data longer than necessary without legitimate justification. The company retained sensitive data without a valid reason, violating GDPR data retention policies, because so that Deutsche Wohnen SE was fined 14.5 million euros. So the facts on this case, we have that they were fined for keeping consumer data longer than necessary without legitimate justification. The company retained sensitive data without a valid reason, violating GDPR data retention policies. So they was fined 14.5 million euros. The main issue here, we have that retaining consumer data longer than necessary without legitimate justification that violate the GDPR data retention policies. So for the ruling of the EU court, so there was fined 14.5 million. For my takeaways and learnings, of course, the importance of data retention policies. So following that, implementing clear data retention policies ensures that data is only kept for as long as necessary and is being disposed of properly when no longer needed. Next, we have the need for regular data audits. So, conducting regular data audits helps identify and address any issues without data retention and compliance. And for our last case, you have the one-on-one telecom GmbH. So this case is all about that one-on-one telecom GmbH faced a fine for inadequate data protection measures in their call center, where customer information could be retrieved with just a name and date of birth. So this indicated a lack of strict authentication and data protection measures. The company was fined 9.5 million euros for these violations. So the facts inside this case, we have the one telecom GmbH was faced a fine for inadequate data protection measures in their call center. So customer information could be easily retrieved with just a name and date of birth, indicating a lack of strict authentication and data protection measures. So the company, of course, was fined 9.55 million for these violations. So the main issue here, we have the inadequate data protection measures in the call center, where customer information could be easily retrieved with just a name and date of birth. For ruling of the EU court, one-on-one telecom GmbH was fined 9.55 million. So for my learnings again, in this case, importance of strong authentication measures. So implementing strong authentication measures help protect the customer information from unauthorized access. Also, we have the need of comprehensive data protection policies. So, developing comprehensive data protection policies ensures that all aspects of data security are addressed and maintained. So, again, as always, we have the quote. So, we have here, the privacy is not something that I'm merely entitled to. It's an absolute right, by Marlon Brando. So this quote underscores that the fundamental necessity of privacy in our lives, aligning with the principles of GDPR and the importance of safeguarding personal data. So that's all for today, and thank you for watching.